down 3, 7-4 with 7:49 to go in the period. Here's some extended defensive pressure. Luke Longley on the bench for Chicago. Bill Winnington came in. That's because Longley picked up 2 quick fouls in this game. 10 on the shot clock for Chicago. Caffey, tough down inside. Risacher goes up. He is a big guard, by the way, at 6'7".
Harper's playing great defense tonight.
If you notice now, the French team constantly forces the pressure on you in transition. You've got to pay attention.
Caffey.
Jason Caffey knows what a terrific opportunity he has with Rodman getting off to a slow start because of the bronchial and pneumonia problem that he's suffering from right now. Pump the iron all summer long. He's ready to go.
Longley misses, run down by Eric Struelens.
Well, you got to get out on Longley. This guy can score.
And he comes down the lane, and the foul.
Last year, he scored 23 a game. This year, he's scoring 22 for this ball club. He's new to this team. But every place he has played, he is a major primetime scorer. Nice pass, good hands by Caffey, send it down. And remember, Caffey started 19 games a year ago. And right here, nice finish, a good follow-up, a strong score.
We can't go out there and think about losing. You know, no team's lost in the McDonald's Open. And we certainly don't want to be the first. So I think the focus is a little bit more playoff focused to some degree. Hopefully that's the case, because we certainly don't want to be the first team to lose here.
You know, Michael wearing that beret here, you know what I've noticed? You know how he's a trendsetter with fashion? I've noticed berets all over Paris. I think people in France now have noticed that berets are a cool thing to wear, and they're selling them everywhere.
That was the first beret I've seen him wear without a logo on it.
Yeah, there you go.
There was one on the other side.
Right now, the rebounding definitely favoring PSG. And as this game goes on, remember the key. They're accustomed to only playing 2 20-minute halves, 40-minute game. When you extend it another 8 minutes, that extra 2 minutes per quarter, it has a telling effect. But the coach here, Malkovich, is one of the legendary coaches in the history of basketball throughout Europe. He is one of the sticklers not only for discipline and defense and running his offense, but they're always one of the best conditioned teams in Europe.
Longley misses the free throw. Normally a very good free throw shooter. PSG leading. It's Paris versus Chicago, 9-6.
Now, give me a little zone.
Here.
Yeah.
He plays zone defense in the McDonald's tournament here. Malkovich will change the defense. This guy is truly a genius at controlling the tempo against teams that have superior physical talent. He's not one of those guys that wants to have a 125-point ball game.
Koturovic picked up the personal foul. 6:41 to go in the first period. This is Harper. That's a 2. Jordan. And the basket. The big toes haven't really crushed this play so far.
Well, every day we talk about Michael Jordan's injuries and his health problems, and yet he comes out and plays phenomenal at the forward position now, just timing the ball better than Struelens, who's got a great sense for the game himself.
A major issue right now with the Chicago Bulls during the exhibition season. You take Rodman 16 out boards, 6 offensive rebounds out of your attack. You subtract 20 points from Scottie Pippen. There's a lot of pressure on Jordan. Now, 2 other guys have got to step up here and score consistently for them early in the season.
Tied at 9, Koturovic with the ball working on Wennington.
And that's going to have to be Tony Kukoc's major responsibility in leading that second unit.
Harper. And the foul is... Yes, the foul is going to be called on Longley. And by the way, as we take a look at Dennis Rodman and Scottie Pippen, I just want to mention that Tony Kukoc is in the game.
See, a big key with Pippen, he had 20 points and the 6 assists, but it's the 7 rebounds. Now, Dennis is going to get you the 16 rebounds, but the key always is the 6 offensive rebounds, because the Bulls invariably will score either an easy shot or get to the foul line on those 6 opportunities.
Pippen and Rodman are personalities who can carry the crowd, carry the arena, carry the show, as Jordan, who's now in his mid-30s, not able to do it for 48 minutes, 100 nights every single year anymore. That's where it's going to take its toll on Michael Jordan in the opening month of the season.
And the Bulls go up by 2 now and extend the defense. Longley had to sit down with 2 fouls, and a French legend, Risacher Dacoury, is in the game. The 38-year-old player who's been in this French league for 20 years and played against Magic Johnson and the Lakers in Paris in 1993. Dacoury with the ball, number 11. Rebound Harper.
The Bulls terrific at playing individual post-up defense, forcing you to beat them with moves that a lot of guys don't have.
Now right now they're back in the zone.
Jordan over the zone. Rebound, Risacher.
Michael's saying he's not been shooting a lot of threes. At this time of the year, he's not in the phenomenal physical condition that he is by June. Talking about going to the hoop a little bit more.
5:18 to go in the first period. This is Dacoury. Beautiful runner in the lane for Risacher Dacoury.
Well, he has been a catalyst on 9 championship teams throughout his 20-year career. He's the legendary player here, and he's excellent off the dribble. He's a man who does all of the intangibles.
Harper. Koturovic keeps it alive.
The Bulls' perimeter shooting does not look sharp. Maybe showing the effect that they've only had 7 practices this season.
Yeah, they're staying in the zone.
Koturovic misses the set shot.
See, I stay in the zone also, Bill, until you show me that you got an inside game against this defense. And then, unless you're going to make a ton of threes. But right now, they're ice cold.
Tied at 11, 13 on the shot clock. Open inside is Struelens. Missed it, got his own board. Missed it again. Oh, they can't miss those.
Oh, 3-on-2 here.
Koturovic. 3-time European Player of the Year, won 3 European championships. Jordan. Koturovic to Forte. Chicago 0 for 4 from beyond this 22-foot arc.
Good call. That was a good call. You know, Randy Brown, he really got in there, anticipated the crossover.
Along the baseline, PSG will drive right across the middle.
Now
The defenders just keeping their hands way too low. Dacoury, very savvy, too sharp.
Game's tied at 11.
This program is authorized under broadcasting rights granted by the National Basketball Association. Any publication, reproduction, or other use of the pictures, descriptions, or accounts of this game without the expressed written consent of the National Basketball Association is prohibited.
Well, even the Chicago Bulls are tourists when traveling abroad, stopping at the most famous landmark in Paris, the Eiffel Tower. As always, Michael Jordan attracted the most attention and the most photo ops. Take a look at all the camera people. Michael getting his photo. Look at this. Just on the trip to the Eiffel Tower.
Well, Michael was talking about how 10 years ago he used to come to Paris for vacation and he could just walk the streets and have a great time, and now wherever he goes in this magnificent city, he's just mobbed and swarmed as this celebrity culture has just grown with the marketing of the last 10 years.
Ahmad Rashad.
Well, Bill, you're talking about 10 years ago he used to come to Paris. He was here 2 weeks ago. Had lunch on a brasserie, sat outside, nobody followed him around. I think the fact that he was here with the Bulls and he had about 50 security men around him, which caused people to pay attention.
2 of the players on this PSG racing team have number 23 written on their shoes tonight. Longley is one of them. Reyes and Kerr in the ball game now. Alfonso Reyes wears number 15, defending Bill Wennington. 3 on the shot clock. That's a turnover. Traveling.
Chicago's perimeter game not sharp at all. Everything happening inside. They have 3 baskets tonight. All of those are on layups or dunks. They're 0 for 9 from outside the layup line.
Well, the Bulls are 1 and 2 in preseason play. They beat Seattle once, lost them once, and lost to the Chicago Hawks. So they'd have to win this game here tonight to go to 500 in the exhibition season. Koturovic. This is Wennington.
The Bulls don't measure their success by their exhibition season record. Some of the greatest teams in the history of the game have gone winless in the exhibition as Wennington finally finds the range from the outside. It's good to see Bill back in the rotation for Chicago, coming off that plantar fascia injury that kept them out of the playoffs last year.
Yeah, 3 international players on the Bulls. Longley, Australia, Winnington, Canada, and Kukoc, of course, the former Yugoslavia.
Good ball movement.
And now Trevelyan takes the shot on the pass from Dacoury. Here is Steve Kerr, finished 4th in the 3-point shooting contest. Harper on the run, and the foul on PSG Racing.
This is the second unit for the Bulls with the addition of Ron Harper that Phil Jackson was saying has been playing much better than the first unit. Of course, the first unit missing Scottie Pippen, missing Dennis Rodman. But you get Kukoc back in the rotation, the addition of Burrell, who can shoot, who can run, who can pass the ball, put it on the floor. These are the kind of guys that can carry the Bulls in tough times.
Harper at the free throw line tomorrow night at 8 o'clock on TNT. Big lineup. Ray Liotta and Whoopi Goldberg on Corina. Sunday at 8, it's the world premiere of the TNT original Hope, directed by Goldie Hawn. And Monday at 8, watch out. Watch out. These guys are big in Paris, by the way. Hulk Hogan and the boys of WCW Monday Nitro Live. Big in Paris.
Here the Bulls giving you a 1-2-1-1 trap. Now we've seen both teams come down the floor and show the full court press.
Chicago up by 4 now. This is Troy Trevelyan. He is a naturalized French citizen American.
He's out of Detroit, Persian High School.
Harper
Eastern Montana State. Billings did a clinic out there, used him and the team. He said, Hubie, make sure you get that in.
Where haven't you done a clinic, Hubie? I think that's a shorter list.
There you go.
But the guy to watch out here is Reyes, 15 as well. Just in the lineup. Spanish player. Remember, the European teams are able to have 2 international players, 2 players from outside of the European community. So a player from Spain can come and play for the teams in Paris without any penalty or roster strangulation.
I like that, roster strangulation. That may come up in the collective bargaining agreement back with the NBA. No roster strangulation or we're walking.
Now, when you look at PSG, to talk about what Bill said, they won the championship last year, and one of the key guys was J.R. Reyes, who is back playing with the Charlotte franchise now this year in the NBA. They have 6 new players, and when you say 6 new players, well, when you're rotating 10 guys, that's a ton of people.
You just looked at the picture of Božidar Malkovic, the head coach. He coached, by the way, Tony Kukoc with split. Yugoslavia split.
Well, how about Dina Raja and Tabak? All 3 guys played for him on that team.
15-12 Bulls, 2:14 to go in the first period. Terrible pass.
Oh, boy. Was that ever.
Another Bulls turnover.
Well, you know, it's the old story of feeding the post. You never feed the post from that angle. Take it down below the foul line, get a better angle, and then Wennington would have been home free.
But one thing we've noticed, the Europeans do a better job than the United States players of hitting guys on the move and passing. So many of the United States players in the NBA forced into being static players, standing still all the time.
Kukoc to Jordan.
Nice.
The waiter serving. Burrell,
Scotty
Burrell,
Burrell,
who just came into the ball game and who is a new Bull, who's going to have to come up with a very big defensive effort because he's going to have to spend some of the playing time for Scottie Pippen, who's had his ankle surgery. And we have a timeout on the floor, 17-12 Bulls. Tony Kukoc and McDonald's have something in common. McDonald's has sponsored this since its inception in '87, and Kukoc has been here for most of it.
Well, you notice all of the most 3-point field goals, most 3-point attempts, total assists, and he's the second leading scorer in the history of this event in total points. But there is another guy who in 4 games averaged 39.5 points a game for Tracer Milan. Now, we all know him. He didn't make the top 50 legendary guys, but we all know that he led the NBA in scoring 3 times. Bob McAdoo, 39.5 a game over 4 games here with 2 different teams in Milan.
Tony Kukoc a little bit worried about his arch, his foot.
Well, he went to see his longtime physical therapist today, right after the shoot-around this morning. The word around the Bulls is that everything is fine, but talk in the exhibition season about your health is easy. Holding up over the course of 100 games and a long playoff drive against an improved Eastern Conference NBA, that's another story.
Scotty Burrell, who was last year with Golden State, missed that free throw after he was fouled on the break.
Now, Scotty Burrell came here in a trade with Golden State for Dickie Simpkins.
This is the guy who lit him up last night. Terry Zig. Local Frenchman here with a beautiful jump shot. Nice pass by Kukoc that time.
Cappy inside, and he draws the foul. Yeah, go back to Terry Zig. He had 11 points off the bench last night, and we all were, kidding around. Zigzag. Well, that is his nickname, Zig.
And then the coach took him out, and the guy was so hot in the second half. He was making all the jumpers. Coach Maljevic just said, hey, come sit on the bench for a while, but they didn't need him down the stretch. And he was the first guy out here at their practice this morning, Terry Zig.
Bill, they all know their roles on this team. They play 10 guys, they rotate them, they all get healthy minutes, and he plays combinations. And if you notice, last night their spirit was terrific, pulling off that big upset.
Judd Bushler misses the jumper on the what would have been an assist from Kukoc. Dacoury with the pull-up jumper. He's got a sweet 38 years old, 20 years in the league.
See, you like their pace. They know that they have to get easy baskets. And when you have inferior talent, that's always the key. You've got to stay in the game with easy baskets, and when you get open threes, knock them down.
But you can't measure the heart of this Parisian team, Hubie, which was last night was huge. I mean, against the Spanish team that was so much bigger and stronger. So much great tradition there for the Barcelona team. And the French team just ran them off the court last night.
Well, you loved it. We saw that with both teams. We saw it with the Argentinian kids, and, that was a great exhibition. So, we've seen excellent basketball, and the fans have been treated to good team play basketball.
Cappy misses the free throw. Michael Jordan on the bench, by the way. Michael has 7 points, and as Ahmad told you at the beginning of the game, both big toes. Michael is suffering ingrown toenail problems. And Phil Jackson said he would play Michael only as much as he has to win, but as much as he needs to win the game. And right now, it's a 3-point Chicago lead.
Well, the Bulls are back showing you full court pressure. They just played man-to-man soft.
Zig.
The anticipation for the offensive rebound. Paris just quicker to the ball right now.
19 on the shot clock, 28 seconds in the first period.
I'd come back to Zig right now. He's too good a shooter.
Pavilion, tough angle on the bank shot. Cappy with the rebound, 17 seconds in the quarter. Bulls up by 3.
I like what the Bulls are doing defensively. They're sending everything from the side to the baseline. Now, you think you're open, but what you're getting is a poor percentage shot.
Kukoc with the drive, threw it on bounds. Not that good a pass.
Hey, Bob, that's his second bad pass, okay? He threw a bad one to Wennington out of bounds. That, no one could have caught, even with a catcher's glove.
The hook. The sky hook from 3. Jabbar could make that.
Well, Michael Jordan has 7 points at the break, 3 rebounds. Chicago, though, more importantly to them, 6 turnovers and only 36% shooting. The Cathedral of Notre Dame in Paris, France, site of the 1997 McDonald's championship. And as we went away, there was a technical foul called on the coach, Ahmad Rashad. What's up?
Well, Bob, I just talked to Jack Neese, and he said that the French coach had been riding him for the last 4 or 5 minutes. I don't know if he was doing it in English or French, but it didn't matter because Jack understood it and called a technical on him.
Did I hear Jack say something about derriere or something? I didn't get that.
I tried to clean it up. I'm sorry.
It's another rule different in international basketball. In international, on a technical, you usually shoot 2 free throws.
In FIBA.
Right, but for the McDonald's Open, they're going to limit it to just 1 free throw attempt.
At the end of the first quarter, Chicago shooting 30%, PSG 36. On the foul tries, Chicago 8 for 11, PSG only 4 for 9. In the rebounding, French team dominating with 8 offensive rebounds, a +6. And the killer for Chicago, 6 turnovers.
Steve Kerr hits the technical free throw. It's 21-17, Bulls by 4.
Last night, PSG Paris, they out-rebounded the bigger Barcelona team by 24 rebounds and had 26 on the offensive end.
Opening moment, second quarter, Bulls up by 4. Kukoc hit the side of the backboard. 7 on the shot clock. This is Terry zagging. Struelens back into the ball game. Somebody got a piece of that, and the Bulls come away with it.
That was a good block.
The athleticism of Struelens coming across that middle. He can get up in the air off one leg, off 2 legs.
Struelens defending Kukoc now. 10 on the shot clock. Nice pass, Kukoc, too.
Tony is such a brilliant playmaker. I mean, he'll have the ball. He'll make turnovers as he's getting his game back together. He didn't play basketball all summer, resting that sore foot. There was no surgery performed, and he wasn't able to run, wasn't able to play basketball, which he normally does all summer.
Dacoury with a quick turnaround, quick release, followed by Struelens. Then he took the rebound away.
Does he have great hands? I mean, his hands are terrific.
But he hasn't been finishing, Hubie. He's been missing
Yeah, you're right, Bill.
at the basket area.
Kukoc open for the spot-up jumper. He's struggling here tonight. Struelens out to Trevelyan.
But Phil Jackson's telling us that he's got to force Tony back into the player that he was before his foot went bad midway through last year.
Cappy with the foul on Alfonso Reyes.
Alfonso Reyes is beautiful to watch. There's a guy who is mixed up down the boards. He comes down, he posts up on the fast break, and if you notice, last night, 22 points, 15 boards, 7 offensive rebounds. You have got to pay attention to this guy.
Struelens 8 rebounds tonight. Regular season NBA action on TNT begins in 2 weeks. Is that Larry Bird in a coaching shirt? Starts with NBA tip-off 97 at 7 Eastern time. Michael Jordan and the Bulls in Boston to face the Celtics, followed by the Western Conference battle as LA Lakers host the Utah Jazz. Opening night doubleheader action Friday, October 31st on TNT.
There's
10
the
on the
guard
shot
around.
clock here. 6. Burr, long range 3, practicing for the 23-9.
Steve did not do well last night in the three-point shooting contest.
Finished 4th.
I asked him when was the last time he won, or lost a three-point shooting contest, and he said, "Hey, I've only won 1 in my life, and that was last year."
He just happens to be the NBA career leader in threes. That was on Struelens.
Yeah, that's a big foul. They had Struelens and Kukoc mixed up, and also Struelens just threw him out of there. And now, costly foul because they're taking him out of the game.
Now they're saying it's not on Struelens, it's on Zig. Struelens was the player involved in the play.
Yeah, Struelens put his head down.
Oh, nice call.
The coaching staff all shook their heads.
But they're learning about the home court advantage very quickly over here.
Yeah. All right, Luke Longley back in the game. He had to sit down because he picked up 2 quick fouls. Comes back in, hits the short jumper, and the Bulls building on their lead now. It was tied at 11 all. It's 25-18 with 9:30 to go in the first half. And Zig missed the pass.
Never jumped a pass, but the Bulls are working very, very hard defensively on guys who are moving without the ball. The European teams move better without the ball than the NBA teams do.
Kerr open for the jumper. That would have been a 3. Kept alive by Burrell.
Kukoc very active on the offensive glass.
Reyes with a scoop who missed it. Got a good pass from Longley, but the Bulls come back. Bushler. Reyes with another rebound. Told you last night he had 15-7 offensive boards.
Now, right now, the French team has missed 7 foul shots, and they cannot make a basket inside of 3 feet.
8 on the shot clock. Hear the home crowd cheering their boys on here. 4 on the shot clock.
Terrific ball movement. One too many passes.
Yep. Longley is the shooter, and he's the man who made the pass. Michael back in. Listen to this crowd as Jordan re-enters the game with 7 points.
Right now, PSG's got to regroup. They're just too excited. They're a little hyper right now. Take care of the basketball. Make your foul shots.
Kukoc. Long-range jumper. Kukoc is struggling from the field tonight. He is 0 for 4.
But PSG, Paris is really struggling. They're shooting 25% from the floor, and they've got 11 turnovers and can't make a foul shot.
Yeah.
And they're right in the game.
There's Alfonso Reyes. Didn't get it to go again. And the rebound goes to Longley. The ball in the hands of Michael Jordan, which brings the crowd to life. Fouled on the drives. He tried to split Zig and Trevelyan.
I think the referee, Risacher, is really enjoying blowing the whistle, and every time Jordan gets near the ball, that whistle is being lit up.
Well, Michael was upset because they had Kukoc and Longley both posting up on the same side of the lane.
Bushler sits down. Ron Harper is back in for Chicago. Kukoc, nice pass. Tried to get it inside to Luke Longley. Nice defense by Alfonso Reyes. Reyes from Malaga, Spain.
The NBA's intended mission of popularizing globally the game of basketball is really resulting in a vast improvement in the level of play, due primarily, I think, to television and international competitions like this.
Michael Jordan gets the ball from Harper. Jordan couldn't find the handle. Didn't really get a good grip on that shot. 7:30 to go in the half. It is 25-18 Chicago. Been a long time since anybody scored until Troy Trevelyan knocks it down from 18. Trevelyan's first bucket of the ball game.
I'm a fan here tonight. Hey, I love the hustle. I love the defense. But can we please have some scoring? Somebody hit some shots.
Jordan's missed his last two. Oh, great block. Harper, it was blocked by Koturovic. And the tip in and the foul. Koturovic, by the way, when you said as Luke Longley goes to the line, Koturovic, look at this. Who does he remind you of in the NBA?
Who used to be in the
NBA.
Yeah, I
very
agree.
recently.
Yep, Rasmussen.
Denver.
Blair Rasmussen with the bad back.
I'll tell you, yeah.
That Pete Babcock went to the wall for years with the Atlanta Hawks.
I mean, he's a double. He's a spinning double.
Free throws, Chicago 9 of 12. Paris Saint-Germain not shooting as well. Jordan that got an ooh and ah from the crowd. Loose ball foul going to be called on Paris Saint-Germain.
Terrific positioning by Luke Longley that time to get the offensive rebound and draw the foul. Chicago cannot buy a bucket from behind the line. 0 for 7.
Chicago up by 7. We have 6:56 to go in the first half. Foul last time. They said it was Zig who committed the foul. Struelens now has 3 personal fouls as he got official credit for that, Bill.
Yes, and that's a big loss for Paris, but the Chicago Bulls starting to build a lead right now as they're showing why they're the best team in the world with the greatest fundamental skills. Sure, they're losing some firepower and they can't make a shot at all, but their great defensive effort, their great positioning on the boards, and their power inside, they're just dominating Paris as we speak.
Yeah, I think it's all at the defensive end. Right now you have, you know, the team from France is shooting right around 20% from the floor. They're not accustomed to this type of, you know, tenacity, not only denying the wings and the easy passes, but even when the guys are getting the basketball, they cannot beat them off the dribble for easy shots.
Inbound.
And Booth in the lineup for
number
the first
22.
time.
Well, I was wondering when we were going to go to this. Now, we saw it throughout the playoffs all last year. Michael Jordan on the post-up. Now, there's no way that any guy in this building can defend him in the post. Now, as we know, he does that by design, but maybe because of the condition of his feet, he really did not want to go in there up until this time.
Well, he's played 10 minutes so far. 2 of 6 from the floor for 7 points. Missed that free throw right there. Both of his baskets, by the way, were rebound buckets. Let's mention Keith Booth, who's a rookie from Maryland trying to win a spot on a team where there are no spots. He was the first-round draft choice, 28th overall, 6th in scoring, 4th in rebounding, 2nd in steals. Had his number retired at Maryland. And Krause likes him, but where's he going to put him?
I think he'll be on this roster. He's a very good player. Needs to work on his shooting a little bit, but has a great sense for the game, and he can handle the ball. He's not limited to just one position. He's a complete basketball player like so many of the Bulls.
Harper got the ball on the cut around Longley, but missed the layup. Risacher is back in also. Arsene Adimensa is in. He wears number 6 for PSG Racing with the ball now. 5'11" guard, 25 years old.
Bob, Luke Longley is intimidating the Parisian players defensively with a great outlet there to start another break for the Bulls.
Risacher committed the foul on Harper.
Well, I like the defensive matchup that they're using. They're putting Longley on Reyes because they know that Reyes was getting off shots against Caffey or anyone at that big forward position. But Longley, he cannot muscle him or power over the top. That's negated the fast break inside game.
Coming up next on TNT, we'll have the second game of our doubleheader tonight from the McDonald's Championship. European League champions Olympiacos Reyes and Atenas de Cordoba, the South American champions who got into the semifinals with an upset victory over Benetton Treviso of Italy last night. The budget, the roster salary budget for Benetton Treviso up around $30 million, $1.3 million for Cordoba, and they upset them at this tournament last night. Coming up in our second game of our doubleheader.
That's a real fun Argentinian team. They play with spirit, great ball movement, and a very promising young postman in Fabricio Alberto.
That's a promising young postman there. Just hit that jumper. Koturovic on the other end, but the Bulls answer very quickly, and Michael has 10.
I'd like to go back to Hubie's point about Jordan not taking advantage in the post. So much of Jordan in the post was coming off Scottie Pippen dribbling the ball up the court. They don't really have that guy who's going to handle the ball as beautifully and as creatively as Scottie Pippen did.
I agree with that point, Bill, but all you got to do is run the triangle. You run the triangle, you get the ball in, you got 2 guys who can pass it to him, and there's no way they can play him. If they play behind him, he's going to shoot over him. If they play in front, they'll lob the ball, and he'll have a picnic here.
Jordan able to do what he wants, backing his man down. As soon as they reach, he just killed.
Well, you notice it was beautiful. He made it look so easy. They ran the double teamer at him. Not only did he catch, but he split the double team.
Randy Brown was called for that foul. That's his second. Risacher.
Yeah, this is the guy who averages 16 a game that's got to get it going here.
Look at the drive by Koturovic.
Yeah, but he's not finishing, Bob.
None of them are finishing.
No, he's had all kinds of good opportunities, and he's not finishing.
Each team shooting 29%. Jordan lifting the percentage for the Bulls as he hit his last 2. And Michael now with 12 to, guess what, lead all scorers. And the Bulls lead at 33-22 by 11. Biggest lead of the game, 4:40 to go in the half.
There you go.
And Reyes did not finish.
Last night, every single one of those shots went down.
Jordan, 3 in a row. Look out. That's 14 for Michael.
So Coach Malchevek goes down the bench and says, hey, I'm going back with Struelens right now. Maybe we will see Struelens on Jordan, but with 3 fouls, a foolish move.
And Trevelyan looks like he's going to try to come back in for Paris also. Interior pass nicely done by Reyes. He's fouled by Michael Jordan. And who made the call? Our man, Romas Brazauskis.
Michael can't believe it. He looked like he got all ball as he breaks down the defense and just rises and shoots up above him. Remember, Michael's playing a lot of forward with this lineup now.
Yeah.
And on the defensive end, He generates fast break opportunities. They just back right off him. Nothing but the bottom.
Bulls 35-22.
Ernie Johnson in our Atlanta studio. Grant Hill loosening up for the regular season beginning in 2 weeks. Watch him split the Atlanta defense and get the three-point play. Detroit had a 10-point lead after 1 quarter. More highlights of that game coming up in just a bit on the Nike halftime report. Also the Heat and the Magic and the Lakers and the Clippers. And you'll hear from Phil Jackson and Michael Jordan on what life might be like for the Bulls without Scottie Pippen when they start the regular season on Halloween. Now back to Paris.
All right, Ernie Johnson, thank you very much. Bulls up 35-22, 4:06 to go in the half. Is this a big event with the Bulls and the McDonald's Championship? Well, that on the right is Lionel Jospin, the French Prime Minister with NBA Commissioner David Stern. My, oh my.
A couple of real powerful men in the world talking business and watching Michael Jordan.
Is it the Turkish Prime Minister who's in our hotel?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And I know you were complaining earlier because you couldn't get the lunch.
I feel secure, I'll say that.
I was at church.
Me too. Jordan, 13 minutes, 5 of 9 field goals. Hit his last 3 in a minute 24. 6 points in a minute 24. 4 out of 5 from the free throw line. 14 points, 4 rebounds. Bulls up by 13 with 4:06 to go in the half.
And he's still working the referee from Lithuania, Risacher.
Romas.
Because Jordan had a great block that Risacher called a foul on to put Reyes at the line.
Last night, PSG would take the ball into the lane, overpower you, and score. Tonight, they're taking you down in there. They're going to the basket, and everything is being contested. They're being intimidated, so they're leaving a lot of the ball short. And for the game, they are only shooting 27%.
There's Eric Struelens, who is back into the game now. Struelens carrying 3 personal fouls. Randy Brown with 2 fouls, handling it for the Bulls. Harper in the backcourt, Jason Caffey. The Bulls starting lineup.
Struelens speaks perfect English. It's as if you're talking to someone like Hubie.
I'm going to leave that alone.
Oh, there he is right there again. I'm glad he's back in the ball game. They're not worrying about fouls. Get Struelens back in here and let him do his thing.
10 rebounds. Nice. Koturovic, Lonchar. Now Trevelyan.
Oh, they missed him.
There he is. Hit the 3. You got to hit a 3.
Nice pass inside. Koturovic not finishing once again.
Intimidation. That's what this is all about. This is the world champion Chicago Bulls coming in, and these guys have never played against a team like this. And they're just missing wide open layups.
Koturovic only 2 of 8 from the floor. 3:17 to go in the half. Risacher. That's a triple.
Risacher, his game is a scramble game. This is not a guy who you just like give him the ball and create his own shot. He has to feed off other guys, get it on the break on the offensive glass.
That's why we said earlier they need his input because he's a 16-point scorer for them last year and again this year.
7 on the shot clock. Randy Brown, the open man.
There you go. Randy needed that. Yeah, I was wondering when they were going to go back to the zone. They went away from the zone for about 7-8 minutes. They had the Bulls. They couldn't make a field goal. They let the Bulls take the lead. Now that's the first time we've seen zone.
Risacher hits the bottom of the iron, and Longley with the outlet to Ron Harper. Caffey up in front.
Luke Longley is a giant out there. You know, the Bulls are not near the biggest team in the NBA, and they've just dwarfed this Paris team.
Koturovic picks up the personal foul. That will be his 2nd. Coming up at halftime. Nike halftime report. Ernie Johnson in our Atlanta studios with the latest news from around the NBA. Preseason highlights from the action tonight. Nike halftime report coming up in 2 minutes 21 seconds of basketball time from Paris. And then they throw it all the way 4,300 miles to Ernie. It's a long throw.
Well, let's look at the Bulls. Last year, 3 guys in double figures. Kukoc, Pippen, Jordan. Take Pippen out of there. Who's the guy that's going to step up here? You look at Harper. Harper's averaged 17 points throughout his career. He's a logical guy that's going to have to step up and score a ton of points for them. They don't pass the ball enough to Longley, so you can't put Longley in the equation. Randy Brown is a hustler, a good defender. So it's going to be interesting to see if that third guy can step up.
Hubie, I don't think it's going to be one guy. I think it's going to be much more of a team situation with better passing, better focus, better defense for more fast breaks.
That was a nice pass from Randy Brown to Jason Caffey, and the steal. Michael tipped back from Harper. Oh, baby!
We're going to have to see them, Bill, in November and December, create easy opportunities out of the defense and get out on the break.
Like that.
Because the competition during November and December is going to be a teens better than we're seeing here tonight.
There's another miss by Longley down the middle.
Randy Brown against Pavilion. Quick transition defense by PSG Racing. Minute 25 to go in the first half. Harper missing from long range, and Struelens on the break. They take it all the way and miss, but draws the foul.
You know, he heard you say, Bill, that he could play small forward. I know he said that, all right? He went over to the huddle and said, hey, Walton just said I can play small forward. I'm going to show you open floor like the man.
Yeah, here's the full small forward.
There you go. He said, and you know they got to foul me down at the other end.
Michael Jordan, 16 points, had the steal, then the tip on the ball for that lay-in. Struelens missing his free throw and everything else. 1 point, but he does have 11 rebounds.
The difference between last night and tonight for Struelens, for Racing, is just incredible. Last night, phenomenal performance. Tonight, good on the boards, active, but you never want to mistake activity for achievement.
What he has shown, though, Bill, is what you and I liked last night. Great hands in traffic, can board, and he has the physical size and strength to hold his area. And, you know, he could help a lot of teams in the NBA at a power forward position for a second unit. He's got hop.
7 on the shot clock.
Hop.
Jordan now being defended by Zig. Jordan's pull-up jumper, not this time. Rebound, Caffey.
Terrific play by Struelens to slap it off Caffey. Caffey spent all summer working on the weights, knowing he was going to get a bunch of time with the uncertainty about Dennis Rodman coming back to the Bulls.
By the way, the word around is that Rodman may be showing up in Chicago on Monday.
Well, he's missing a great time here in Paris. Paris would have been perfect for Dennis.
You know what Michael Jordan said in his
I thought I saw Dennis.
Get this, Michael said, what do you miss about him? He says, well, we miss his rebounding, I miss his defense, and I miss his weirdness here in Paris because he would distract a lot of the crowd from me.
Well, they only have 1,000 media people here covering this event.
It's the same reason I like working with Hubie.
The weirdness?
Right, the weirdness.
But which way? 1,000. That's more than the NBA Finals, by the way.
It's interesting. 1,000 media credentials. The game is being watched tonight live in 167 countries. That's how big this event has become.
There's a good view of the end zone seat for the media who got the credential request in late. Struelens hits the free throw this time. The Bulls lead at 13 with 35 seconds to go in the first half. It's been defense.
Bring it around to Michael Jordan.
Zig. Nice. Stripped away by Randy Brown. 22.7 remaining in the first half.
That's the way to take it to the hole. You're on the open floor and you have quickness like Zig. He can really explode.
Play for one.
Trying to post Struelens against Tony Kukoc. Now the pick and roll. Struelens. Not his shot.
It's a good-looking shot. It just has to go in.
Hey, when you're a scorer and you only have one at halftime, that's what happens.
Jordan at the buzzer. Crowd on their feet. Michael Jordan putting on a show here. Bulls leading 42-29. You see the first quarter 7. A routine 9 in the second period. But the Bulls defense held Racing to 24% from the field and forced 13 turnovers. Paris home game, supposedly. Sellout crowd here at Palais Omnisport de Bercy in Paris.
When there's always a strong personality, you organize the group like a union and you get them at the right end of the court.
Oh, Rick.
Fuck! There you go.
Risacher gets the feed from Longley off the tip, and it brings the Parisians to within 11.
And I like this defensive matchup with Risacher on Michael Jordan.
Yeah, that started late in the second quarter, by the way. And Risacher is 6'7" and pretty quick.
And very rangy, long-armed, and a terrific, fierce competitor, and helpless against guarding Michael Jordan.
Yeah, but he looks like any player who defends him in the NBA, so let's not be so hard on this guy.
Jordan has 18. Here's Longley. He was in for a shot. Risacher for the three. Longley with a rebound. Longley got 2 quick fouls, 8 rebounds, and set out most of the first quarter of play. But 8 rebounds for Luke Longley here tonight.
Now here's Michael in the post. Risacher's got 4 inches on him and a lot more hair. Jordan's calling for the ball in the post.
Nothing but net for Michael Jordan. 20.
Well, there are 2 guys who are keeping Chicago out in front, and that's Happy and Michael Jordan. They're playing extremely well. The rest of the team here is struggling.
It's time to come by and chat with us.
Michael Jordan the last 2 times just blast by, no rotation defensively. Then when that doesn't suit him, he steps to the outside and drops the jumper. I don't think his feet are giving him that much trouble.
If they are, he's playing through it as usual. 20 points in 18 minutes for Michael. Randy Brown to Harper. 10:34 to go, third quarter. Inside to Jason Caffey. Short-armed it, but Longley's there. There's no such thing as a short arm for Luke Longley. New Mexico's where he played his college basketball, Luke. Of course, he's from Melbourne, Australia.
Well,
Luke
looks good. His weight is down. Spent 2 months on the beach in Perth, Australia this summer. Spent a lot of time, too, in Chicago working on his game.
On the beach in Chicago. Oak Street Beach, probably.
Hey, we play a lot of beach volleyball there. We have a wonderful time.
Longley.
I will say this about Luke Longley. He did get arrested this summer. He did.
You want to
He was
give us the
involved.
rest of that?
He was involved in an environmental protest.
Oh, yeah.
Trying to save a virgin forest down in the Australian wilds, and he climbed a tree and slept overnight, and the police came and arrested him at the end of the day.
Inside to Reyes for the lay-in.
Nice play that time. Good recognition.
50-35, Chicago by 15. We're midway through, early actually in the third quarter, from Bercy, as they call this building, the Bercy Park area of Paris, France.
More movement for the Bulls right now. They need that. They're standing around watching Michael.
Here's Longley. Longley won the three-point shootout contest last night. That's Forte. Frederic Forte.
Well, hopefully this event here will be a big springboard for basketball here in Paris, which has not been a big hit over the years. Now, a lot of other cities throughout France have been very strong. Limoges, Le Mans, Nancy, Cholet, Dijon are very strong basketball cities, but Paris has not been.
A lot of mustard on those Dijon hot dogs. 52-37 Chicago. Luke Longley with 10 points and 9 boards now. Risacher, unfortunately, he's defending Jordan, but unfortunately, Jordan's also defending Risacher. 3 on the shot clock. 2. Reyes misses the runner.
Nice.
Offensive foul on Ron Harper.
Good call. Harper had no place to go that time.
That's his 4th.
Well, usually when you get behind your back like that, you want to get to the hoop and then look for somebody to pass it to. Because to make the kind of move that Ron did here, as he's nearing the end of his career, you know, he's just not going to be able to make that play.
Well, it's one of the very few times we have seen a rotation defensively by the French team to get over and get in front of a driver to the basket.
Burrell now into the ball game. Scott Burrell, who came from Golden State in the trade for Dickie Simpkins, wears number 24. He commits the foul on Struelens.
See, I think it's a terrific trade to get Scott Burrell for a
I do
Dickie,
too.
for
Good
Dickie
defender.
Simpkins, who's going to get no time with the roster that Chicago has. And then you get a guy who can play behind Scottie Pippen when Scottie's ready, in place of Scottie until he comes back, who can score, do everything out there as long as he stays healthy.
And Hubie, is he not a pretty good defensive player when he's healthy?
Oh, when he's healthy, he's a good defender. He's a streaky three-point shooter, but he can rebound and fill a lane for you. So you're getting an all-purpose type of a player. The key will come down to is Kukoc's health at that small forward position. Will they start Kukoc or will they go with the small team? But you always have, after you do this for a while, you could put Burrell in a starting position and still bring Kukoc off the bench.
Michael takes Risacher to the floor and buries the jumper, and Michael has 22.
Well, that is the beauty of the triangle offense. You just run it, you run it, you run it, and then until you get it to Michael Jordan, and then he makes the basket after he tells everybody to get out of his way.
Longley. Here is Burrell. Michael Jordan, and now Longley on him. Michael's feeling it.
Burrell learning quickly to pass it to Michael every time down the court.
There's defense. Speaking of defensive effort by Scottie Burrell. Plus, he can play baseball if the White Sox
Give it
need
to him in the pose.
There you go.
Look at that move. He shows that his clinic, right?
Yes, he does.
And draws the foul from Longley.
No, he's working. He's really working
Yeah.
hard, and he's staying within the offense, going to the spots that are designated for him on a pass. And you're going to see it right here. That's just, he's at his best. They catch Risacher falling to the floor, and then the fade away. Good night.
4:37, Chicago leading Paris with 6:49 to go in the third quarter. This is our first NBA telecast for this season, but the regular season tip-off begins Friday, October 31st, 7 p.m. That's our tip-off show. Note Larry Bird coaching Indiana, Charles Barkley, and Michael Jordan. Jordan, thank you. Michael, by the way, and the defending world champion Bulls will be in Boston to face the new-look Rick Pitino Celtics on our opening night, followed by Western Conference battle with the LA Lakers, who a lot of people, including me, think may win the West, and the Utah Jazz, the defending Western Conference champions, who are without John Stockton for up to 3 months because of knee surgery. Opening night doubleheader action, Friday, October 31st, only on TNT. You were talking about Howard Isley, though, maybe being able to step in the lurch for a short time.
Isley will do well. The big question, though, is Karl Malone. How's he going to recover from the finals last year? That's with Karl Malone and with the Knicks as well. The disappointing losses at the end with mental breakdowns. How do you recover from that? But watch out for the Lakers. Shaquille O'Neal is rolling, and Kobe Bryant is going to be huge.
Koturovic tried to pass it inside to Longley, and of course, instead he hit number 23.
Well, the European teams are just not used to playing against a team that plays this kind of defense. The Bulls, their defense gets overlooked because of Jordan's spectacular abilities.
Well, in this game, the three top scorers, Struelens, Reyes, and Longley, have one field goal between the three guys. Now you're talking three guys who they expect to get over 15 points in a game. The Bulls definitely have done an excellent job on that.
Risacher fighting for his own missed shot. That's a tough play. Risacher, a hard battler. He has 9 points in the game. 56-39 Chicago with 5:45 to go, third period. Jason Caffey.
Oh, it's missed Jordan.
Shot clock to 6. 4. Tipped by Struelens. And then it went.
Tell you what, he was blocked out.
Let's just say I question the call.
Yeah, well, he was blocked out.
Yeah,
he really was.
Only two officials.
Yeah, only two officials. That's right.
Dennis Rodman would love that.
French fry. I haven't had any French fries. I had French onion soup. I'm trying to be very Parisian. Shot clock down to 2. Forte launches the prayer. That's got a foul on the Bulls.
The big hard elbow by Longley.
Anytime that you are a continuity team and you're going to run off as many seconds as PSG attempts to do to get a high percentage shot, and then they take your 3 main guys out of the mix because of the Chicago's tenacity defensively. You shoot, you miss, you get all of these offensive rebounds, but you still cannot put them back because you're still being challenged. And that's what you have to love about the Bulls tonight.
Not just tonight, Hubie, but over the course of this decade with under Phil Jackson and the disciplined defense, forcing guys to beat you with moves that they can't make. The fact of the matter is that so many guys have limited games. You've got Jordan with a complete game who can get his own shot. Akeem, Barkley can get his own shot.
Struelens tipped that in, by the way.
On the international level, there's just not many guys who can take that ball, look at the defender, and say, hey, look, I'm going to score.
Well, of course, because if they could, they'd be in the NBA. We'd have them over there playing on some team. All right.
Burrell to Randy Brown. Tony Kukoc still does not have a basket, but the offensive board goes to Michael Jordan, who does have a basket, and Michael has 26. But Tony Kukoc, 3 European championships, 3 times MVP in the European League, has no points tonight. Tony is 0-4-6.
Well, he and Harper are just struggling.
10 on the shot clock. Koturovic. Struelens. Looked like Randy Brown got him, or maybe Kukoc. It is Tony.
It's interesting about the Chicago Bulls, they're traveling with the circus that surrounds them with the security all the time. The NBA chartered them a 747 to come over here. 747 with 90 custom seats in it. They filled it up with the entire Chicago Bulls family. They had the upstairs on the 747 was built into a suite, and they with a bedroom, and they gave it to Tex Winter. The senior man on the team. Tex has been with the Bulls for 13 years. Should be in the Hall of Fame, Tex Winter. Inexplicably is not.
Let's see, you have Coach Struelens' shoes. Look at this. 23 written on his shoes. Lonchar has them on the back of his shoes, too. And, of course, I guess that's...
But Jordan's on the other team. Whatever happened to competitive greatness? The Risacher. Competitive greatness is the top of John Wooden's pyramid of success. That's the last block on the very top.
John Wooden. I was counting how long it would take, and rightfully so that you mentioned John Wooden.
He just celebrated his 87th birthday on Tuesday of this week in great health.
Yeah, I saw him this summer. You could fool me that he's 87. Well, and he won it at UCLA with such, he really never could recruit, and he still won all those ball games.
Yeah, he coached, like a lot of the coaches in Europe, he coached the players that he has.
Here's Dacoury. Richard Dacoury is the legendary French basketball player inside of Koturovic, wave off the basket. That's on Kukoc also.
As a postscript to Tex Winter's suite upstairs on the 747, the team found out about it early, and they went upstairs and they short-sheeted him.
Tex just to the right side there with the gray hair. Tex Winter of the triple post offense. I was going to say that the classes on that flight would have been coach, business, first class, and throne.
And Jordan.
Yeah, that's Jordan. That's the throne seat.
Michael actually brought one of his children on the 747, and his wife, Juanita, and the other child flew over on the Concorde to meet him here.
Kukoc to Scotty Burrell. That's a triple for Scott Burrell. Hubie said he can shoot the 3, but he is streaky. I mentioned earlier he was a baseball player.
Yeah, well, it was the first round draft choice. The main thing with Scotty is he just has to stay healthy. I mean, he really is a terrific athlete.
Off the glass, Richard Dacoury Buechler with the foul. Yeah, Burrell has never played a complete season.
Well, he had shoulder surgery again this year. Dacoury comes off the screen, steps back. The flailing Judd Bushler, when you're banking in the threes, there's not much you can do defensively there.
Bulls by 15, 2:42 to go in the third quarter. Just how popular are the Bulls and the NBA in Paris? We went out on the streets, asked some of the more knowledgeable Parisian basketball fans to name their favorite NBA player.
Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan. Larry Pippen. Larry Pippen.
Scottie Pippen. C'est Michael Jordan, bien sûr. I think Dennis Rodman is one. Rodman.
Dennis Rodman.
Scottie Pippen. Scottie Pippen.
And not some bad moves. Watch here we go. Watch the follow. Not bad.
Wow, Hubie, how about allowing penetration with no deflection? Come on.
Where's the foul?
Wait a second. How about the fact that Rodman had quite a few votes there? Okay.
Is that a Robinson? Is that a San Antonio jersey we see in the stands there? Can't quite read it, but it sure is.
Well, we'll be seeing a lot of him this year.
A lot on TNT. I know NBC has a lot of the ball games too because of the very excellent player who, by the way, could technically be, talking about Tim Duncan, could technically be called an international player
from the Bahamas.
Well, they're off to an excellent start.
Virgin Islands, excuse me.
They're off to an excellent start, and the two of them are playing well together, and it's good to see David being able to put up the numbers as well as the minutes.
His Kukoc, but going to be shut out in this game.
Duncan is not only talented physically, he's a very bright guy.
Sure is.
Thinks the game of basketball.
3 on the shot clock, and finally...
Well, he's interchangeable. You know, he can play power forward, he can play center, he can block shots. When they went into New York to play the Knicks with a healthy team, Patrick played that night. Duncan had 19, 11 boards, and he had 4 block shots. Now you say, well, could he do that by himself? I don't know. Playing with a David Robinson, as you know, all of a sudden your confidence goes up, and you are working off the power forward, which really helps.
Well, you just go to where the defense is weak because they're going to put Ewing on Robinson and they go to Duncan. They put Ewing on Duncan, they go back to Robinson.
That's nice. And it's also nice to see that Sean Elliott is back and then Chuck Person is back. So they're really going to be a team to reckon with naturally if they all stay healthy.
13 seconds on the shot clock, 2:07 in the period. Bulls 63 to 47. Shot clock down to 7. Bulls defense cloaking Paris Saint-Germain. Dacoury gets free. They've got a foul on Chicago.
Struelens is just working so aggressively on the boards. Tony Kukoc trying to box him out. When the guys run underneath the backboard, the way Rodman does so well, the way Paul Silas used to do, Moses Malone, sometimes you got to let them go and just go and get the rebound yourself.
Kukoc 3 fouls, 0 for 6 from the floor.
First guy I ever saw do that. First guy was George McGinnis in the All-ABA. He'd go under and back you out and get on the offensive boards.
Stay tuned to TNT for the second game of our doubleheader from the McDonald's Championship coming up after this one. European League champions Olympiacos Reyes and Atenas de Cordoba, South American champion. Of course, Reyes, a suburb, the harbor of Athens, Greece. Atenas de Cordoba. Atenas is the Argentinian word for Athens. Thought you were going to know that. Remington missing, and Struelens rebounding.
Paris is starting to play better, but I think there's a correlation with the fact that Michael Jordan is sitting on the bench for a while here.
Another steal there by Scotty Burrell. Kerr.
Steve is not going to be a great shooter off his own dribble. And he needs Kukoc to be creating the play for him, and then there's none better.
Nice.
That was pretty. That's Ade Mensah.
He's a scorer.
Yeah.
Yeah, he averaged last year like 9 points, and when he comes in the game, he's looking to score. And in last night's ball game, he came in, he really gave him a good, solid shot in the arm.
To the free throw line to convert the three-point opportunity with 1:18 to go in the third period, and the Bulls by 11. Not exactly what you'd call a blowout. They may cut it to single digits here. Bushler got away with that one, but Struelens has the ball. 1:12 to go in the third period. Arimensa, blocked by Kerr. Koturovic. There you go. It's a 9-point game.
The quickness of Artemensa to get down the lane. He stole the ball initially, then made the whole play. Penetration, the dish. Finally, Koturovic could finish. Here's
pull-up jumper. Wellington kept alive by Buechler. He gets a loose ball foul, too.
What you do not want to see against full court pressure is to come down in a 2-on-3. And then here's a nice pass off, and then Koturovic. We know we've been waiting for this guy to make the shots tonight because he has a very nice soft game, soft jump shot facing the rim. But right now, you make these foul shots, all of a sudden, they're back in business.
Yeah, 19-point lead's been cut now to 8 with Richard Dacoury going to the free throw line. And he could cut this lead from 19 to 7 with 49 seconds remaining in the third period.
Look at this.
Follow! It's cut to 6. That's Struelens.
Keep the full court pressure on the Bulls. They've got to show you that they can do something with it once they get it over half court.
How many times does Michael Jordan have to win this game?
Yeah, Kukoc is in trouble, but look who's open. Hard foul.
Yeah, good foul. Yeah,
Wellington
knew. Hey, in the NBA, it would have been the same foul.
Right.
Big thing is, don't let him dunk the ball. Don't give him the easy shot. Force him to go on the foul line. Dacoury just runs him down. Hey, and he did go for the block. He went for the block.
Had all ball early, but what about the complete breakdown of the press? Somebody's got to stay back. You can't allow all five guys
at UCLA,
in the front
that was you. Okay, you were back. Right? Here, they don't have you. They don't have any one of your size back. They're gambling. They're going for all-out steals.
Canadian Bill Wennington, we were talking to the Bulls and to Bill, he's reasonably healthy.
Absolutely. He had the plantar fasciitis that, wrecked his playoff run last year. A huge contributor to this team because he can score, he can rebound, he can defend, and he thinks basketball. He's always in the correct position.
Right. And big thing also, Bill, is the fact that he can shoot facing the basket for you, and you can count on him to make a wide-open big shot at either center or power forward.
7 on the shot clock. Dacoury, 5. Buechler's too big. Here's a long one. Off the glass! That's 2, and that's a triple. It cuts the Bulls' lead to 5 with 9 seconds in the third quarter. Jordan, with 26 points in 24 minutes, has been on the bench most of this second half, and that's a beautiful shot by Scotty Burrell.
Into the corner. Shoot it. If that would have banked in.
Now this is just a great play.
This is Zig again.
There's Zig.
He can create his own shot.
And how about the challenge? Burrell was right up in his face.
They forced him left, and the jumper still banks in straight away. Great run by PSG to close it out and make a game of it going into the fourth.
Eiffel Tower. I know one interesting fact, interesting to me anyway, weighs 10,000 tons.
Was built 100 years ago to commemorate the celebration of the revolution 200 years ago. They changed all the lightings in the last couple of years. It looks much better at night now.
Scoring by quarter, you see 31 points by Paris Saint-Germain in that third period after only scoring 12 in the second. Michael Jordan spent much of that period on the bench for the Bulls and will not start in this period.
Well, at the end of 3, Chicago shooting 40%, PSG only 36. But in the three-point shooting, Chicago 1 for 10, PSG 3 for 11. The rebounding, PSG is staying in this game with 16 offensive rebounds. 15 is a ton, and they're out-rebounding the Bulls by 10. Problem with PSG, naturally, their low field goal percentage and the fact that they have 18 turnovers.
But that rebounding, Scotty's not here, Dennis is not here. And I think the end of that third quarter points out what could be the biggest problem for Chicago all year. What happens when Michael Jordan goes to the bench? Well, they're going to lose the big leads. Jordan's going to have to work so hard that by the end of the season, he could just be broke down.
Hey, Burrell couldn't handle the Kukoc pass.
You can't win in the NBA with just 2 guys scoring. And that's my point. I want to see who's going to step up here. Now, we know that Koturovic is out of shape. You can see it.
Right.
He's having a horrendous night. But so is Harper. I mean, between the two of them, they're struggling all night long also. These 2 guys have got to get their game going.
5 on the shot clock for Dacoury. Mensa in the paint. Nice pass. That beat the buzzer. Koturovic with the basket. He has 9, and this is a 5-point Chicago lead in the early moments of the 4th quarter in the McDonald's Championship 1997. These are the semifinals.
Now they're in that 2-3 zone. Now we have not seen the zone in a quarter.
Kukoc is still without a basket. Kerr gets the long ball, loses it. Tony is 0 for 7. Zig. Scott Burrell. Kerr's pull-up jumper from 16.
There's no offense.
No. And also they're in a 2-3 zone, and they really do not have any type of a set zone attack. You can see that. But every time tonight that Steve Kerr has dribbled the ball more than 2 dribbles, he's been to the right on a shot. It's kind of interesting.
10:35 to go in the ball game. 67-62 Chicago.
I don't understand that when guys are dribbling, unless they're Michael Jordan, why they're not looking to pass. Dribble at a guy, create a dribble handoff. Beautiful.
Richard Dacoury drew the foul. Good drive for the 38-year-old.
And you know, we say he has played in the French professional league for 20 years. He's been on 9 championship teams, and they say he is the most decorated athlete in the history of this country. He's kind of interesting. I mean, he really has a following throughout this country.
And has not lost a step. I mean, the guy is exploding to the hoop. He's getting by. Great defensive pressure by the Chicago Bulls, and Jordan finally back in the ball game.
See 26 points in 25 minutes for Michael Richard Dacoury. And we have ourselves a 4-point game. Bulls are led by 19, 10-17 to go. Chicago by 4. Remember, an NBA team has never lost in McDonald's championship play. Jordan, this is from long range. Dacoury playing hard. He's only 6'4", by the way.
Well, this group, ever since they've been in here, Bob, they're not only playing good defense, they're holding the Bulls to 1 shot, and they're doing a nice job at this end of the floor.
Yeah, Mensa has done a good job.
Yes, he has.
And Reyes starting to pick up his game a little bit with that nice tip out on the defensive rebound.
This is Mensa.
Nice. Looked like a nice pass until the defense stepped in.
Jordan, Wennington, Kerr, Scotty Burrell, and Kukoc on the floor for the Chicago Bulls.
Well, you know, right now they're a little bit confused. Half of the team is in man-to-man, half is in zone.
Jordan to Wennington.
Yeah. That's the beauty of Michael Jordan, is that, you know, he beats you with every part of his game. There, the pass. He stole the ball down there from Mensa, gets the rebound. And now he's guarding Zig, and watch Zig disappear the rest of the game.
He got a shot off. Scotty Burrell with a rebound.
You can always get a shot off. UB's had a few guys who can always get a shot off.
Scotty Burrell, I'll tell you, he's having a very nice game tonight, and I know that is tremendously encouraging to the Chicago staff, because they can start him or they can bring him off the bench at that small forward if he can just get his feel in the triangle offense.
I think a real key for Scotty Burrell is whether he can realize the importance of his ball handling, because he's got to be able to take over what Scottie Pippen did. He brings it up and just drains the 3 as everybody's collapsing in around the basket.
Yeah, Burrell committed that foul there, too. 4 for 4 from the field.
You know, you look at anyone who's got to replace Pippen. It's 20 points, 7 rebounds, 6 assists, first team all defense 5 years in a row. I mean,
and the leadership too. I mean, you're forgetting about and the clutch play. It's not just the numbers.
He's the creator. You know that, Bill. When they're on the break, he's in the middle with the ball, creating something.
Koturovic. There's Alfonso Reyes, tough player inside.
Remember at the beginning here we were talking about the intimidation factor? That seems to have disappeared.
Very good point, Bill. Very good point.
One charge back on Michael Jordan defensively. Now they switch off, and here is Kukoc to Kerr. And that's Steve Kerr's first points of the night.
Well, they've been waiting. They've been waiting all night for that.
Steve's 1 for 6. That was a big one, too, because that rebuilds the Bulls lead to double digits at 10 with 7:52 to go in the ball game. Adi Mensah and the Koturovic, the Reyes.
Ari Mensah is starting to force it a little bit.
Yeah.
He's getting in there and anticipating if the pass is going to be there. But the ball movement of the Chicago Bulls, the best team in basketball, so sharp, everybody handling it. Kukoc in the lane. That's where Kukoc, I think, needs to be more effective. Getting in the lane, drawing the defense, and then finding guys like Steve Kerr, Bushler, Scotty Burrell.
Well, if you're not going to run continuity against a 2-3 zone, then what you do is you penetrate and split 2 defenders, force them to trap, and then you pick the people out and you make the passes. And that's a very good point, Bill, because that's when Kukoc is at his best, because he will always find the free guy and deliver.
See Alfonso Reyes with 22 and 15 last night as he steps to the line. Every afternoon on TNT, watch Lonesome Dove at 4. At 5 o'clock, it's In the Heat of the Night. At 6, see David Carradine in Kung Fu, The Legend Continues. At 7, Terry Hatcher and Dean Cain starring in Lois and Clark, The New Adventures of Superman. Kukoc looking for his first points, and here is Burrell.
You see, he should have just kept going and driven the ball right at Burrell's man.
Good cut.
Bad pass.
Yeah.
On that cut, you got to give a guy a bounce pass.
You got to drop it. You got to reach it out and drop it in front of him.
That's a I'd be yelling at you if you would have thrown that shovel pass, Walton. Let me tell you.
14 Bulls
you
turnovers.
never did that.
You would have yelled at me no matter what I did.
No, I wouldn't. No. No, I couldn't because you had that red bandana on in those days, all right?
That's why I like Risacher so much. I like those dreadlocks.
I would love to have seen that Walton and Hubie in the 70s. Risacher for 3.
See, Risacher is a national team player. Forte's a national team player. These are the type of guys that you got to step up for you and make big shots. And Longcar, from now to the end of this game, has got to show him that he can make a couple of key threes.
Yeah, Longcar's got to try to defend Michael right now with 8 on the shot clock. Here comes the double team. Burrell open for 3.
Good basketball.
Did we say streaky? Yes. And he is on fire. And it's nice to see.
Look at the lineup, though. They've gone real small. Caffey playing in the middle. Kukoc and Jordan making all the plays. And Burrell and Steve Kerr spotting up from the perimeter.
Burrell is 3 of 3 from three-point land. 6:30 to go in the ball game. Scotty Burrell committed that foul, and he now has 3. Timeout. 78-69, Bulls by 9 with 6 minutes 30 seconds to go in this game. Bulls had led by 19. We've talked about Pippen not being here, Rodman not being here, word that Rodman may show up around camp on Monday. Some other new faces who may or may not be on this roster.
Well, you can see Keith Booth. He was drafted out of the University of Maryland, 6'5", slasher. Scotty Burrell, they picked up in a trade with Golden State for Dickie Simpkins. Now, Dante Calabria is a rookie trying to make the team out of the University of North Carolina. Pure shooter, 6'5", but they're just, there aren't any spots for him. Now, Joe Klein, they pick up as a free agent who left New Jersey at the end of last season. Now, Joe is going to be a definite insurance policy for them.
Hubie, I think they put Joe Klein on the injured list all year until if somebody gets hurt.
Like they did with the Chiefs.
Right, they just keep him right there. I think they try to keep Booth and get him some playing time because he's got a future.
Jordan rebounds the Struelens miss, with the Bulls leading it by 9 and 6:12 remaining in the game.
Now, the last player that they had on there was Rusty LaRue, who was the quarterback, baseball pitcher, and then was a great three-point shooter with Wake Forest 2 years ago with Timmy Duncan.
I used to watch his dad's movie. Remember Lash? Remember?
Okay, well, we're not even acknowledging that, okay? I mean, did that come from the mezzanine or what?
Mezzanine's good.
I hope it did.
Hubie, I'm just trying to warm you up for the regular season. There's Lash.
I tell you, Rusty LaRue, almost a 4.0 student in engineering, was married, had a child at Wake Forest, great three-point shooter, broke all the passing yardage as a quarterback at Wake Forest, and then had the audacity to also play baseball. And people said, how come he doesn't have a part-time job? You know what I mean?
Hey, do we embarrass Brendan Brown if we say he's on the bench at Wake Forest?
No, he was.
Son of Hubie.
Oh, no, he was a limited earnings guy there for 2 years. One Rusty played there with Duncan. Now, my son now is video coordinator for the last 2 years with the New Jersey Nets, so we're very happy about that.
Struelens, 11 points and 17 Dennis Rodman-like numbers, 17 rebounds for Struelens. Punched away by Trevelyan, but they're going to call him for the foul.
France really needs to get a hot hand offensively here. They're running out of time, just under 6.
Now think about this a second. This is such an overmatch here. It's an 8-point game.
Yeah.
If they ever would have made their foul shots, forget anything else. Okay?
Look at that move.
They're still hanging right in there.
Yeah, and on a break, here's Trevelyan.
You got to take it all away.
And he did.
Yes,
and it falls. And we have a 6-point ball game.
You know what he said? He said, hey, at Pershing, that's how I took it to the hall. Pershing High School in Detroit. Come on. He said, if we didn't do that, man, you had to finish. Had to finish in traffic.
Michael against Longley and the switch.
Nice step out by Struelens.
Longley driving past Struelens, and Reyes had to come over to commit the foul.
Trevelyan on the break. Got Steve Kerr there. Just tremendous lateral mobility.
Yeah, that was nice.
Guys who can come down on the run and move to the side.
Yeah, we were talking about the
right and left with that. Boy, then you got a real player.
No, we were talking about the free throws with Paris Saint-Germain. They've missed 13. It's a 6-point game.
Yeah. See, Trevelyan, when he came out of college, naturally he wasn't drafted. He went to Australia, played in Australia, and then he has been in France as a professional player since '94, and he really loves it. He's found a place and making a contribution, making a good living.
Well, he's married to a French woman here, and that's why he does not count as one of their international players. Their international players are the Yugoslavians, are the Balkan people. Longley and the big guy in the middle. Koturovic.
Risacher. Oh, tried to hit Longley, intercepted by Jason Caffey. Jordan wanted to go behind the back. Trevelyan knocked it loose, and here comes Longley. Remember, it's a 6-point game.
Risacher.
Three.
Did you see Struelens? What a leaper. And he can leap despite the fact he has a tattoo on his ankle.
They got to move out of there and give Jordan some room to operate.
Kerr has a 24-footer.
That's the difference between Steve Kerr shooting on the move
And a catch shot.
catch and shoot as opposed to dribbling first.
Bulls back up to a 9-point lead with 4 minutes to go in this game. Bulls had led at one time by 19 points. Michael went to the bench late in the third quarter, and Paris Saint-Germain made a run. Shot clock at 6.
Nice pass.
Longley at 3. Good ball fake.
Well, Harper got hung up on the screen a little bit. Oh, but they just break down, and Ron just able to finish so easily. Coach Malcevic cannot believe the breakdowns defensively of his Parisian forces.
Harper's first hoop. He's 1 of 9. 10 on the shot clock now. Longley.
Jordan just shutting him down. Struelens, so smart.
Nice play.
Longley, every place he plays, he's one of the high scorers in the league. Last year in Italy, he was the 4th leading scorer, 24 a game. He comes here, he's averaging 22, 23 a game, and the Bulls are just manhandling him. He's only 3 for 10 tonight, and they look for him for the sporting leadership.
Risacher looking inside to Struelens, defended by Caffey. Trevelyan on the drive, and we've got a foul on Chicago.
Ron Harper.
That's going to be 6 on Harper. He's out of there.
Well, Treon was so out of control.
Yep.
Harper standing underneath the basket. Down the lane. Harper is right there. That's clearly an offensive foul.
Harper's there. Yeah, he's right there. He was there before he elevated.
It's going to be interesting with the new rule in the NBA this year. He'll be with the dotted line underneath the basket. Where they're going to take guys out of taking those charges, although Harper was clearly outside of the area that time.
Yeah, but it's about time, Bill. It's about time. You know the old story, the unwritten rule. Well, one night it's 3 feet, one night it's 4 feet. Now you know. You'll see it right there, and we're not going to see guys get low bridge. And you know yourself, in your career, you didn't want to go down in there and all of a sudden a guy take your legs out from under you.
Randy Brown back into the ball
And be
game.
looking for a charge.
8-point lead for Chicago. 3 minutes to go in the game. Jordan's pull-up jumper. Rims out. Struelens.
He must be close to 20 rebounds.
Exactly. Good guess.
But you know what he is? He's the Jason Williams of French basketball.
I like that. And the Nets are playing better right now.
Yes, they are.
Jordan down the lane and the foul. I love everything Michael does here and everywhere else. 28 points for Michael tonight.
Jordan just never stops moving. The ball gets popped loose there, and he gets it in transition. Nothing you can do defensively. Too smooth, too complete a player.
The fourth McDonald's championship was held in Barcelona, Spain, with Patrick Ewing and the New York Knicks taking center stage. In the semifinals, Darren Day and Scamellini Pissarro led for most of the game. But a late three-pointer by Gerald Wilkins sent the game into overtime, where Ewing and the Knicks held on for the 4-point win. The Knicks handled a Pop 84 split easily in the finals, winning by 16 as Ewing took home the MVP award. And the NBA kept their McDonald's record perfect. Yeah, that was a close one in that previous game. The Knicks could have lost that one.
Big shot by Gerald Wilkins.
Here the Bulls are up by 10. There have been a few other close games. The Lakers had a close one with Juventud Badalona. We showed you a highlight of that by 2 points. And the Nuggets in that high-scoring affair in 1989.
Now, the Laker game and the Nugget game, they were finals. You know, the Knick game was the preliminary.
But they've changed the format of the McDonald's Open. Now it's much more of a world championship tournament. Is not just by invitation.
Yeah, have to qualify.
The champion of the NBA, the champion of all the different European powers, the champion of South America.
Well, they went to that format the last time in London when we
95.
were there, Bob, right? And as a matter of fact, our third partner that night, come on, that feisty guy with the
feisty
Phoenix
guy in
Suns.
Phoenix.
Danny Ainge. Danny Ainge, right? And that's when they started all of the champions. And it's nice because these teams should be rewarded.
It's going to be interesting to say if Michael says anything in the post-game press conference about the flashbulbs, which every time he touches the ball, the building just lights up here. It's like the people are watching the game through their cameras, and as soon as he touches the ball, they just pop away.
2:26 to go in this game. Bulls by 10. Longley. This is Risacher. 8 on the shot clock. Good ball movement, and inside of the hoop will fall, and the foul. So a 3-point opportunity. That's one way to get it.
See, they were waiting all night for Reyes to get going, and he just has not been able to, because the Bulls have done an excellent job when they slide Longley over on him, and he has not been able to overpower. But Caffey, he's been able to get in Caffey's chest and finish.
Well, the difference in height, Hubie. Luke Longley is 7'2". Jason Caffey, what, 6'8", 6'9"?
Yeah, but you and I both know that there are a lot of coaches who would just say, Longley, you play the center. Caffey, you play the big. Okay,
that's why Phil Jackson's the best coach in the NBA.
Reyes hits the free throws, and it is now an 8-point Chicago lead with 2:12 to go. It doesn't seem to be in danger here, particularly with this man handling the
For
ball.
it to happen, Zig would have to get hot. He's on the bench.
Yeah, Struelens just went to the bench. Forte, the Risacher.
They need a 3.
There's the man to get it. Risacher is willing to take it too. They've got some 3-point shooters on the floor. Matter of fact, 4 of them who will take it. Koturovic with 4 on the shot clock.
Nice rebound.
Scott Burrell. Cappy. Blocked and fouled. Koturovic got up to block the shot, but committed the foul.
Well, Koturovic, he's new to this ball club. But you can see he has some talent. He's only 25 years old. He played in Belgrade, you know, for 3 seasons before he came over here. And he was on 2 championship teams. But you can see that he has to adjust to all of this movement. And when he and our guy, you know, Struelens, get it together, this team is going to be very difficult to score against in this league here in France.
Koturovic has got a double-double tonight, 10 points, 10 rebounds.
I think this game is going to do wonders for this team.
Oh, sure.
The confidence that they will get. I mean, they'll walk out of here, Struelens will say, hey, I had 20 boards against the Chicago Bulls.
That's right.
Zig is, he also just had Longley throw it right back in.
There goes the confidence.
Come on, Struelens. I mean, the guy is 7'2" with red hair. How can you forget about him out there?
Frederic Forte handling the ball with 1:15 to go. Paris Saint-Germain upset FC Barcelona to get to this matchup. Coming up next, our second game of our doubleheader tonight, Atenas de Cordoba, the South American champions, and the Euro League and Greek champions, Olympiacos Piraeus. And the winner of that game will meet the Bulls in the championship game tomorrow afternoon on NBC. Coverage begins at 1 o'clock on Saturday. We'll all be here. Ahmad, Pete Vesey, Bill Walton, Hubie Brown, and yours truly for that ball game on NBC at 1 Eastern time tomorrow. Very big day for NBC. Sports-wise, Southern Cal, Notre Dame, first game of the World Series after that.
When you're from UCLA, Southern Cal, USC is not the biggest day on your calendar.
I thought I delivered that to you pretty well, I think. Thank you very much. Jordan throws it away, but it won't matter with 46 seconds left. Forte for 3. I got it now. It's a 5-point game.
Bulls just have to keep moving right now. Right. Make Paris come out and chase him.
Well, they're going to run some block. They're in 2-3 zone.
That was blocked by Struelens. He blocked the shot of the 7-2 Luke Longley, but they turned it over again. Michael comes up with it. Jordan, who has 28 tonight. 17 seconds to go in the game. That's symbolic, emblematic, you might say, of the way things have gone for Paris Saint-Germain tonight. They've made plays, they've made runs, always coming up a little bit short.
You know it's going to be interesting. Opening night, Chicago at Boston, with the full court pressure, run and jump, trapping 2-2-1, 1-2-1, hold on, because we've seen that they've had trouble with this type of defense here this evening with inferior type of players. So, you know, opening night for them is going to be interesting.
But hopefully Chicago will have Dennis Rodman back, you would think. But
hold on, that's what we're saying. But you still got to get it up and down the floor, you know, and you got to get your guys in shape to handle that type of pressure. And I'm just saying, interesting. It'll be an interesting opening.
Interesting. We'll go with interesting. Struelens. Pull-up miss. Koturovic with the rebound on the hook shot. That's the game. 89-82. Chicago by 7. Jordan, 35 minutes, 28 points, 7 boards, 6 assists, 3 steals. Sold some Chateau Jordan wine. I think he's bought a winery while he's been over here with the little swoosh on it and the whole thing. We're going to come back in just a moment, and Ahmad will be talking to the man. The Bulls win in the semifinals, 89-82 over Paris Saint-Germain Racing.